Okay, we are ready to create another 3D effect with social media icons. When we hover on them, I want icons and link elements to be rotated with opposite directions. And also I'm going to change background colors for them. So first of all, we need to create 3D environment for those elements. For that, let's select li element, which has class name icon item, and assign to it perspective with the value 1000 pixels. Besides that, in order to create 3D space for child elements, as you already know, we have to use another property called transform style, and we have to assign it to icon link. So write transform style with the value preserve 3D. As you see, we have here little problem with after and before pseudo elements. Because of 3D environment, it seems that their size is increased. In order to fix that, let's just decrease height of those elements. Instead of 30 pixels, write 25 pixels. Alright, so everything is ready, and now it's time to create hover effect. Let's select at first link element with hover. So on hover, I'm going to rotate link along y-axis, I mean vertically, by 35 degrees. So write transform, rotate y, and as a value write 35 degrees. And also for smooth effect, let's use transition with the value transform and 0.5 seconds. So when we hover, you see that element is rotated nicely. That's what we wanted for link. As for icon, I'm going to rotate it with opposite direction by same degree. So let's select icon link, add hover, and then select I. Then we need transform, rotate Y. So you may think that we need here same amount of degrees, I mean minus 35 degrees. But it's not going to work in the right way, because we need to take into account a rotation of link element. I mean, when we rotate link, icon is followed, and it's rotated as well. So instead of minus 35 degrees, we need here minus 70 degrees, in order to compensate degree of link rotation. Make sense? Alright, let's use again transition. Write all, 0.5 seconds. I'm using here all because besides transform, we're going to use another property. At first, let's check what we have. So when we hover, you see that both elements are rotating with opposite directions, and actually it creates nice 3D effect. We are not done here because we want to add some more effects. At first, I'm going to change directions of text shadow dynamically on hover. Let's copy it from here. And as a first value, instead of 0, write 10 pixels. As you know, first value allows us to create shadow on the right side of element. So when we hover again, you see that shadow is moving nicely according to rotation of element, and it creates more dynamic effect. Alright. The only thing that we have to do is to change background colors for icons on hover. In order to make this effect nicer, I'm going to use after pseudo element. So let's write icon link I after, then make its content empty, set height and width as 100%, and assign to it temporal background color, let's say red. In order to make element visible, let's define its position as absolute. And also in order to align element according to its parent, let's assign to I element position relative. So here we have after pseudo element, and let me explain what we're going to do here. By default, we will place after pseudo element outside of I element, I mean somewhere here. And then when we hover, it will be moved down and will become background of I element. So let's define position of after pseudo element in the following way. We need top position with the value minus 130%, and then the right position with the same value. We use here such big values because we want to place shapes outside of I element. So as you see, position of element is changed. It's placed outside of I element. And in order to make effect nicer, I want to change shape of element and make it circle. And then I will give back shape of square to it on hover. So let's use border radius with the value 100%. So now shape of after pseudo element is circle, and we need to create hover effect. Let's select icon link with hover, and then write I with after pseudo element. In order to place element as a background, we need to define positions as top 0 and right 0. Also on hover, we don't need shape of circle anymore, so write border radius with value 0. And lastly, use transition with the values all and 0.3 seconds. Let's hover, and you see that element is moving, but we have here a little problem. It covers social media icon. So in order to fix that, we have to use z-index property with lower value, let's say -1. Alright, now everything works perfectly. Last thing that we are going to do is to remove red color, and instead of that, use original social media colors. Let's get rid of background color from here. Then select after pseudo element for first icon. For that we have to write the following. Write icon item and use here selector called nth child. For first element we need to insert here 1. So now we selected first li element, and in order to access on after pseudo element of first icon, we have to write icon link and then I element with after pseudo element. Then assign to it proper background color. First social media icon is for Facebook, so write 3B5999. Let's duplicate this code 3 times. Change numbers here. Write 2, 3, and 4. And then change colors. For second one, write CD201F. Then we need 55ACEE. And for last one, write DD4B39. So as you see, colors are changed, each icon has its original background, and last thing is to hide those shapes. For that we have to use overflow hidden. Alright, so everything works fine. We created several nice effects, and actually with social media icons we are done. Next I'm going to make hamburger menu working. Actually, it will allow us to navigate from banner to navbar and then back. Okay, let's do it in the next lecture.